Welcome to the Program Pod, a national award-winning program on the RCBC Podcast Network, which takes a deep dive into the programs offered at RCBC through different perspectives of students, faculty, and employers.
That's right. Hello and welcome to the Program Pod. As we said, a national award-winning, and just finding out too, up for another award in this year's NCNPR Medallions Award. Whether it's going to be gold, silver, or bronze, we'll find out. We'll let you know. But it's not about us today. It's about cybersecurity, as we are going to be taking a little bit of deep dive from different perspectives within that particular program. Again, the host, Jay Varga, that is me. And, well, it's October, it's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and RCBC has been taking on its own measures, promoting the important measures needed to protect yourself in the cyber world, which also included rolling out the required multi-factor authentication steps and accessing their BaronOne accounts. Why is this important? Well, why do you ask that? Because I have some fancy old facts that says about what people have been experiencing with cybersecurity. Because according to AAG, Cybersecurity Services, an estimated 53.35 million U.S. citizens were affected by cybercrime in the first half of 2022. Between July 2020 and June 2021, the U.S. was the most targeted country for cyber attacks, accounting for 46% of the attacks globally. Also, U.S. citizens lost $6.9 billion in 2021 to cyber-related crimes, including romance scams, whatever that is, 956 million, investment scams, 1.4 billion, and business email compromise of 2.39 billion. So, why is this important? Well, that's what we're here to talk about. So, is it a coincidence that we're doing all this in October? Well, maybe not. I think so. But if so, you're ready to join today's here in Career in Cybersecurity. The show is joining us for you today. It's Allison Warren here, a current RCBC student. Allison, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Jay.
You're welcome. Roy Kramer, also a current RCBC student and member of the Sub-Iron Security Club, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit, but also a 3+1 computing and informatics major, right?
Thanks. Yep. Thanks, Jay. Thanks for having us on.
Yep. And Nabil Bill. Right, we're going to do that nice and easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. An instructor here at RCBC for computing and informatics, part of the STEM division, specifically engineering and technology. But as always, I like to start with the ladies first. So, Allison, we're going to start with you. All right. So, I was just talking about some of those numbers there with cybersecurity and citizens being attacked. And, well, happens to be you were one of them, right?
Yes. I say that begrudgingly. So, me and my team did a recent presentation. As you stated, we won a award, which I think we did a fantastic job on demonstrating a live cyber attack. And I took the bull by the horns and did the intro and conclusion of our presentation. And through my public speaking class, I learned that you need a good hook. And back in 2020, I was conveniently had a cyber scam. And so back in 2020, I graduated my 4 years of college at Moore College of Art and Design, fantastic school. And I moved to Georgia with my mom because I found a good like settlement kind of starting job there. Okay. It was a contract work, so I did that for a little while, but then contracts only last for so long. So I was looking for more jobs in the meantime. And when you graduate college, you're super excited. You want to get right into the working world. So I took almost anything that was given to me. So when I got it already made my stomach like turn, because I got a text message, not a call, not an email. But, I was just trying to remain hopeful of, okay, yeah, this is going to be job number 2. And so when they were texting me back and forth, it was texting like an interview texting. And I was like, can we call? Sorry, we can't. And I was like, what the ham? So,
Something's up.
Yeah. So, I was really thinking about it. I was like, oh, I don't know if this is right. But I let it go on. And then this is for anyone who's listening is going to learn a classic fraud, and not to follow this in a second. So eventually they said, you're hired. And I said, when are we going to be able to call? And they said, eventually. I was like, okay, that's weird. So they said, we are going to send you a check in your email, and we want you to print that out and put it in your bank account. I said, okay. And being a recent graduate, I probably had a good like $5 in my bank account. Mm-hmm. So it was awesome getting the $2,000. But when I printed it out and a mobile scan, you just put it over your over the check with your phone, and it kept going error. I was like, what is going on? And eventually, so forth, I did some research into it, and that is one way that you can get your bank account information taken. So I did research, and it was, and this did end up happening. So you put the money in, and then they ask for 1,000 back, and then they have the information for your bank account. So when I read all that, I was like, oh crap. And that's when I was like, well, all right, well, my suspicion was right. This was like, somebody trying to, take my money and take my information. So that's when I took the number that they were texting me and then looked them up. And then, well, behold, it's two guys in Santa Monica, California. And I'm sure they got lots of other people's money, but I wasn't going to take that. And I ended up going drastic measures and calling the Santa Monica police.
Yeah, unfortunately, like you said, there's victims out there who aren't so lucky, and get caught up. I've had experiences too, doing a lot of like trying to do some sales on Marketplace, and sometimes they're like, oh, well, can I pay you in Walmart gift cards? And I'm like,
No.
I mean, I do have to go to Walmart sometimes, but I was like, something doesn't seem up. I was like, no, you have to really kind of filter it out. But okay, so you're in Georgia, you do all this stuff, but so now, how do you jump here to RCBC? What led you here?
I'm so glad you asked that question. So I have a very strong background in art. I have worked on so much different like concept artwork. I've done character designs. I've worked on a children's book. I've done so much. And unfortunately, now in 2023, there's the creative strike going on. So that's something I'm also very passionate about, of keeping updated with everything on the creative side. Mm-hmm. So during COVID, I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn more, so I wouldn't stay on contracts after contracts, because that's what big corporations do. They put you under contract, and they never give you full-time benefits. And that's the goal of a college student, of graduating: full-time benefits, getting a salary job, and just having a successful career. Sure. But all the creatives are going through the strike right now of, we don't want to be on contract. So being 26 now, I wanted to learn something that I'm familiar with and learn more about, so I can get that, American dream of salary, full-time job, nice, successful life. So learning about it, I found the love for it, because it hones a creative side and a technical side, and I'll explain why. So being in sort of a technical field, you're working independently, and there's going to be problems that arise in your career, and you have to use your creative side and go, okay, how am I going to do this? Because it's not going to be handed to you. Yep. Because the computer's going to go, oops, we don't like that. And you have to think, okay, well, how do I want to do that? And working with your right side of the brain, you can go, okay, well, you could do this, and this, or you could just look it up on YouTube. But it really makes your brain go. So it kind of coexist with the creative side and the technical side. And that's why I wanted to go into like this tech field that I was already familiar with, and I just honed the skills, and I'm glad I did, because it's a really nice field to be in.
Yeah. And like you said, the troubleshooting definitely makes your brain think a little bit.
Yeah.
Try to get it out, problem solve and such. But okay, so you're here studying school at RCBC now. So what are some of your few highlights? And we're going to talk about, obviously, the accolades that the Cybersecurity Club received earlier this year. But what are some of your personal few highlights so far while attending?
So, I think probably meeting a bunch of like friends who are here to like help each other and want to see each other succeed is like the highlight, like making new friends and then probably meeting new people. I'm a very social person. I love to talk a little, but I guess the main goal is just learning. Like, you come into the cyber security industry and it's like, oh, there's so much money in it, but it's like, yeah, that's a bonus, but like, what about like the knowledge you learn, the things you think about, the people you meet, the networking you have? Like, that's the reward in itself, and the money is like, oh yeah, that's awesome. But like, I'm a very social person, so I love talking, I love meeting, I love learning stories. So that's kind of like, I'm glad I came here.
Yeah, unfortunately, the financial side of the arts world is not as lucrative, say, as cybersecurity.
Well, you say that. So I can talk about art for a while, but I can. It really depends on the level of master. It depends if you're mastered in something.
Sure.
So you can come into the art world of, I want to be a children's book artist. And that can fluctuate up and down. If your children's book becomes successful, you make millions of dollars like Dr.
Sure.
Seuss. Or if you want to go in the video game industry, if you become a concept artist, that's just step one to becoming a 20-year long concept artist, where you are making up to $80,000, $90,000 a year on your salary. But if you're an entry level, honestly, this could go for any industry of just starting out small, but the more experience you have, you're going to get a bigger salary. Yeah. Cybersecurity, from what I know, and you can digress if I'm wrong, it's the same thing. If like entry level will be like $50,000-$60,000 a year, but that could be like the 10 years into a art career if you manage to get like a full-time job in the art industry.
Yeah, and sometimes art too is it's commission based. It's you said it's not as stable.
Yes,
as maybe.
And that's well. Do I regret going to art school? No. Would I ever suggest?
It's all an experience.
Would I ever suggest art school for someone? Yes, I would. I think it's a fantastic experience. College in general is amazing. And I know it can be scary for some people and it can be stressful, but the benefits you get out of it is like leagues better than like just staying at home and like trying to do it yourself.
I get you.
Yeah.
Well, I can continue to talk. We do have some other guests.
I know.
We want to bring in we want a little bit. So Roy, how you doing?
Doing good.
Let's bring you into the show here. So what's your background story, and what led you to RCBC?
So basically, I've been interested in computers my whole life. I've been playing on a computer since I was like a toddler. So I always knew I wanted to get into a computer IT related field. Mm-hmm. During high school, I went to BCIT in Medford. So that's a trade school for anyone who isn't aware. I went to the information technology program there. And that's where I started to learn about the different fields in IT and started to learn about cybersecurity. And that's where I knew I really wanted to go down this path.
Why was that?
It's just constant learning. It's always learning about the new thing, because attackers are always, one step ahead. Yep. They're always, they're always one step ahead of the good guys. So I always love that you're just constantly learning. You're always there's always new things happening. And I knew that this was the field I really wanted to get into with computers.
Sure. And
really the reason I came to RCBC is because financial aid. It was way cheaper to go here than anywhere else. And
especially with the 3+1 program, right?
Yeah.
So, and again, you're into computer informatics. So you're going to go here, and then obviously you get your degree from Rowan University, all with cybersecurity in mind. But and we'll talk about, your internship that you kind of got going on, which I think is really awesome as well. But these the high accolades, right? This is what kind of put you on the radar to my show and to the campus as well. And I think it's fantastic what's going on with what you guys did with the cybersecurity team. And we'll talk about the Cyberbit ICL Collegiate Cup in a second, but let's talk about the cybersecurity team. So what is it? The name of it, which I thought was really clever. Let you tell the listeners.
Cybarons, yeah. So it's a pretty cheesy pun.
No, I love puns. Wait till we get to my dad jokes.
RCBC. So Cybarons, we just kind of came up with that because we were last minute. What should we call the team?
Sure,
it works, and honestly, I think it clicks.
So what do you guys do in the club?
So basically, what we do in the club is the club in general, because it's outside of just the team. it's for everybody, anybody interested in cybersecurity to come learn, expand their skills, grow, and, because it's such a collaborative thing. You can't learn everything by yourself. Everybody has their different strengths, their different weaknesses.
Absolutely.
So really the club in general is to help people learn, advance their cybersecurity career, learn, again, get the skills they need to succeed in the real world. As part of the team, basically there's these competitions, cyber cups. They all have a couple different names. Basically, they all revolve around putting students in the role of real world professionals. You have to defend against an attack, or you have to go into an already compromised network and look through it to figure out what happened. It's all basically the stuff we're learning in our classes, but applied to what you would have to do in the real world. So it's a really valuable learning experience, because that's one of the things that I feel like sometimes school it doesn't fully get right, is that, that translation into real world knowledge. It's what I really liked about BCIT, is that you got the actual practical knowledge. And so these competitions and the club, they help us get that in a way that sometimes the school can't necessarily make up for.
So speaking of the competitions, one of the cups, the CyberBit ICL Collegiate Cup, your team placed 6th in the country.
Yes.
Not the state, the actual country.
Yeah, nationwide.
Okay. So what type of attack were you guys dealing with then?
So in that tournament specifically, it was already attacked. Like we got a network with devices that we had to look through. Something had already happened, and our goal was to remediate the issues, go in and fix them, and also to find evidence of what had happened. Because in the real world, when you're a cybersecurity personnel, doing incident response after something's been hacked, you can't just say, oh, this is what happened. You have to use that knowledge, that data that you find, to prove what happened. So that was really our job with this tournament. And we were able to do that mainly just through our critical thinking, our teamwork, just thinking outside the box, because a lot of the stuff we were looking at, we didn't know about. Yeah. Like there was a lot of programming scripts and languages we didn't know. So we had to take that information and kind of go through it and use the, context clues of what we knew in order to figure that out. And I really think that's what got us such a high placing. Isn't that we had spent so long studying C++ or Java. It was just that we had the critical thinking to look in the right places and to look for the right things to find what we needed to score high.
So, which makes it even more impressive, because the fact that you say you're not really knowing or have a strong knowledge in some of that script writing, and then to come in 6th in the country.
Yeah,
and you're taking down some heavy competition too.
Oh yeah, there was. Right? There was the actual Rowan University there.
Right.
They scored. I forget where they were, but I think they were 17th. There was Purdue, Texas A&M, big 4-year schools.
Wasn't the government team too, or I forget the government institution, or they have
Navy was in it.
Navy.
Oh, were they?
Or a defense contract thing, I think I was reading, but still 6th, but 6th in the country.
Coast Guard.
Oh, okay. All right, but still Purdue, Rowan.
Yeah, we were kind of shocked.
That's some heavy competition. So how many were on the team?
So for that competition, there were 4 of us. This year we've got Allison and Nick, 2 new members.
Okay.
But the 4 of us there was me, Jordy, Foz, and Tavon. You might have seen him around, especially if you're.
I work with Foz all the time. He's an awesome dude.
Yeah. I know they do.
Love his outfits.
Yeah.
So how did that make you guys feel though? To know, you pulled it in, one of the top 10 in the country, almost top 5.
Honestly, at first I was just kind of like, what? I was just shocked. I didn't really have an initial yeah, we did it. I was just sure. Wow. I'd felt because my expectations, this is only the second or third competition we did. Mm-hmm. So my expectations were hey, if we can get top 10, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So it really just, it made me feel proud that we were able to work together to get that far of a result. And also just made me think, what are we going to do in the future?
Mm-hmm. And it's and obviously it's great for the resume.
Oh yeah.
Right? You can put that in your portfolio. I was on a team that finished 6th in the country.
Yeah.
For the cyber attack. So in that competition alone, I guess you kind of maybe already covered it, but I would say, how did that encourage your academic growth?
So one thing it kind of helps is it helps you figure out where you have to focus on a little bit. There were some things that new tools that we worked with that we kind of have realized, hey, maybe we should study these and kind of get used to these, because in the real world we may have to use that tool, or in one of our classes these tools may come up. So it kind of helps you figure out where you actually have the knowledge at, because you're putting it to the test. if you what you can and can't do, that shows you pretty much.
Okay. So fast forward to now. Obviously, you're going to school, you're studying it up and everything else, but you also have an internship. It seems like you're on your path to an excellent career. Can you tell us about this internship, where you're at, what you're doing?
Yeah. So basically, I'm working part-time with the Burlington County government IT department. So the courthouses, the jail, animal shelter, basically all the government services that Burlington County has to offer. I help out with IT support. Specifically, I'm on more of the networking side. So there's so much to IT. It's not just, coding and programming. There's servers and there's networking. There's so much to it. What I do is I'm running cables, I'm configuring, switches so that, basically making the traffic move on the network.
Kind of make them talk to each other, right?
Yeah, basically.
Some of the courses you're learning now, though, is kind of help you advance with
Definitely.
what we're going on.
Definitely, yeah. So, last semester I took a networking fundamentals course here, and that really kind of drilled my head into like all the network, like everything networking. There's so much to it, but that really helped me figure that out, and I was able to do more at the job because I was like, hey, I just learned this in class. Can I do a project or mess with something related to that? And it kind of helps me learn on the hands-on on the job too.
All right. So what's the next step then? After 3+1, you looking to stay in the Burlington County department, or
definitely for a few years? Because it's a government job. You get full-time benefits.
I know that all too well. Right here, even at the school, you get some excellent benefits. You get pension, which is a rarity these days. Massive amounts of time off, even though I don't know with cybersecurity how much time you get off, because if you get attacked or something, right?
Yeah, so that is the one downside is like, you can get time off, everything, but if, when things go down, you have to be on call. We've had that. I haven't had to actually go in and help out, but I've seen that happen as I've been there. There's, some server goes down or something happens on the network, like big things happen where everybody has to be hands-on deck. So it's like, sometimes you're going to get a call at 2 a.m. that, hey, this application's down. You got to fix it right now.
Yeah, but it's not often. So
no.
Yeah, you're pretty good. All right, so let's now bring in the instructor here, Bill Baig,
Yes,
right?
sir.
How we doing?
Doing great.
Yeah. Well, I was like a little proud father moment here of your team doing excellent in this competition. But let's first start out and find out, so what exactly do you teach here at RCBC?
I teach a gamut of things. First, like programming, Roy was mentioning, we teach that. So there's Python, there's C++, and other programming classes. So under the informatics major, we have a lot of the programming classes. In addition, there's a lot of, in IT world, there's all kinds of technology services, from networking to operating systems to cybersecurity classes. So any gamut of those areas, I cover almost all of those.
So how did you get here at RCBC? Like, what's your background? What got you into computers? And obviously, the computers have changed from when computers were, I guess, first evolving to us to now. What's going on with all these tablets and touchscreens?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen it. I feel like a dinosaur, right? I've seen a computer like was also almost like a TV, Texas Instrument. Where I saw a bouncing ball. I was a little kid. I saw a bouncing ball on a screen. And I said, I wonder if I can bounce it a different way. And that's led me to the computer programming. It was a basic computer program written, and I tweaked around with it. And I thought, this is interesting. And then I was a pre-med major, actually.
Really?
I did all of the pre-med classes, biology, chemistry, physics, organic, and calculus. All the way many years ago, Temple University, and then I always had that bouncing ball interest. So I said, I gotta at least focus on some of the programming and focus on some coding things. So I got into that. So I ended up getting a degree in pre-med and computer science, and that's where led my career. Then it just took me almost 6 years to get that. So because I wasn't sure which direction I wanted to go, I said, let me take a little break from medicine. Instead of going to medical school, I'll just work in the field. And that's when .com era was happening.
Right.
So I told you I'm a dinosaur. So I witnessed the .com era come. And that's when having slight technology skill set would made you a super rich company, even just having an e-commerce presence. So I witnessed that. So from all of those times all the way to now, I was always on the forefront fighting those battles of cybersecurity.
It's amazing too when we talk to some of the students when I was teaching, because it's like, yeah, there was a time there was no internet, right? And people, they look at you like they can't live without internet right now, but evolved and going. They said the .com and the GeoCities, watching the little emojis with the like those 7-Eleven guy, trying to build those web pages out. Because I did a little coding myself, but not to the extent of what you guys are doing.
I was on the forefront of the internet era that was evolving. Like we were communicating, but we used something prior to the internet. It was like bulletin boards. We used the phone systems to share files and communicate and do other things. So I ran one of the biggest one in the East Coast, and then the internet evolved, and I was there. So what led me to RCBC was, I've always had all these interests. I work in the industry a lot, still very active in the industry, and just throughout my career, I worked in the field, and then in the evenings or during class time, I shared what I did in the industry. So that's I've always been connected that way. And then currently, just having a privilege to work in the school and then finish up your doctorate degree in artificial intelligence is great to have. So having that balance, having a connection in the industry, having great students you can interact with, and having the ability to finish your doctorate would be great. And that's what led me to here.
And well, speaking of interacting with the students, you play that major role in the team getting 6th in the country at that Cyberbit ICL Collegiate Cup. So, first of all, how'd that make you feel?
It was amazing. Just having, team come together. Just some of the challenges of young folks is amazing. You just have to have a certain discipline, balance. Even Roy saying some of the things that they were using was mostly troubleshooting, but having an overall understanding of IT, how it works, all of those things coming together and playing a good role in that, and just encouraging the team that we can do it. Don't worry about who's competing. Do the best you can. I even remember we were during one of the attacks in class, there was a live attack happening. And all the team was panicking, and we weren't sure what we were supposed to do. We even reached out to them, and I said, just use your natural ability to troubleshoot. Use your team effort that we have, collaborate, and in the cybersecurity world, what I see from the perspective of the earlier days to now, being on the forefront, it's constantly evolving science. Nobody has a clue. So just thinking outside the box, just like Roy is mentioning, that we were just trying to figure out what was going on. We didn't know this. We didn't know. Nobody knows it. Even somebody like me, coming from that kind of background, there are so many scripts, so many languages. It's solving a puzzle. So just having the ability to troubleshoot and a strong team and some general foundational knowledge of basic programming and IT skills will take you far in this industry.
Sounds like you had a good coach there.
Yeah.
Good mentor.
Definitely.
That was part of my questions of what was some of that guidance that you provided, but you just answered that right there, and as well as what to take away, because it looks like you're from the previous competitions you're taking away and applying it to the next one, and then as you should apply it to the next one because you want to be able to continue to grow and understand and be prepared for the next attack or the next competition and such, which we're ready for. Hopefully become top in the country this time. That's the plan. that top 3. But okay, so in addition to winning this award-winning, cybersecurity team that you're involved with, the college also received some extremely important funding, cybersecurity grant funding, which we learned about when you guys did the demonstration to the college last week, which was an awesome, demonstration, by the way. As again, we go for the importance of Cybersecurity Awareness Month here in October, but the college, we found out, is going to be receiving $1 million from the New Jersey Higher Education Technology Infrastructure Fund that will upgrade and improve computer networks and Wi-Fi and make them faster and more secure. They're going to get $400,000 from the National Science Foundation as part of a multi-college consortium aiming to strengthen partnerships among colleges and employers in emerging technological fields, starting with cybersecurity. The effort also strives to boost diversity in these fields. And the New Jersey Cybersecurity and Communications Integration Cell accepted RCBC into the state and local cybersecurity grant program that helps public institutions manage and reduce systematic cyber risk. Can you elaborate a little bit more on like just how important that funding is here?
Oh, absolutely. Everything costs money to improve your infrastructure and all of those settings. So having some of this funding will help us improve our curriculums. We're offering some of the curriculum that uses cloud technology now, which we spin our servers in the cloud. We define our security there. So that gives you like another lens into security, how to secure an organization's security infrastructure. And having the funding, giving us the ability to improve our systems, improve our IT services. IT in general, as we look at it, every 3 to 5 years is almost 180 shift. So it's completely outdated and new sets of technology comes in.
Yeah.
So having that funding is very critical for the organization and helping us improve the curriculum overall.
I think if you keep winning more competitions, more funding's going to be coming in. That's for sure. But all right, so some group questions here, okay? Because again, we're trying to, as we on the program pod here, we just trying to take like a little bit of a deep dive, but still keep it on a 101 level for maybe someone that's trying to get into cybersecurity, what they're about to get into, or what that career is about. Maybe they're a new student, not sure what they want to do. Maybe you're an art student and you're looking to switch over. So, and again, this is open to the group here, so anyone can take the lead. You can bounce comments off of each other. What advice would you give to an individual looking for a possible career in cybersecurity?
Just do it.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, when I sorry to cut you off, Ryan. when I was researching into it, I had a passion of a fiery, burning passion of vengeance. And I said, well, if I could stop someone from doing it to me, why can't I stop doing it for other people? And then that's when I found like the fiery passion in my heart to save internet lives and bank accounts.
Right.
So one thing, like, I want to, like, not to put it down, but to guys temper people's expectations. Don't expect it to be like the movies right off the bat,
Yeah.
And like cybersecurity is just one part of IT. And when we're here, we have to learn about a lot of it and only very brief parts of it. We have to learn about operating systems and networking and system administration, all to get our cybersecurity degree. So I think one thing for people, I would tell people, is to really like get passionate about computers. Get passionate about just working with the technology, not just about the cybersecurity, being a hacker, getting the 6-figure salary. Because if you do that, you're going to end up just burn out. And I've seen that with some of my classmates, some of my friends, that it's not living up to the hype. So I think that's one thing for people is like there's a lot of buzz around cybersecurity right now.
Yep.
There's a lot of buzz around big money jobs, go get a degree, you'll get some crazy salary, but that's just not the reality of it. So I guess I'd say make sure you actually have a passion for it before just trying to chase a salary.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll piggyback on what Roy is saying. Be ready to do hard work. That's one of the misnomer about cybersecurity. Just because you've learned how to run a script or run some website hack, and then you're all of a sudden cybersecurity expert. Or if you learned some tool like Snort or Splunk or something else, those tools are gonna come and go. The most critical skill set is still programming. You still have to understand how computers think.
Yep.
And learning programming, it's a very disciplined world. We have extensive set of programming courses in our curriculum. And then secondly, understanding networking. That's a very skilled area. That's a very important and very difficult, because you have to learn how the entry points to an environment are defined. The routing, the switching, the IPs, the Wi-Fi, how to secure each of them. And there are many vendors, many devices, and many interfaces. So my ultimate thing, if somebody's interested in cybersecurity, I will certainly welcome them. We need more good guys or good folks in the cybersecurity versus bad. And we want them. We need that battle. We need to be on this good side and train folks. But get ready to do the hard work. And then ultimately, there's plenty of opportunity. I'm I've been active in the industry for 30 years. It's nice. It's nice to brag. Where just from my LinkedIn profile, my doctorate is in going to be in computer science. But given my background in cloud engineering and a lot of the security accolades I carry and lots of certification in Cisco and AWS, just having a consulting firm that helps the industry, and there's a tremendous need. That's what I would encourage anybody joining cybersecurity. If you do the hard work, there's going to be plenty of opportunity for you, for the industry and beyond.
And we're teaching some of those basics and fundamentals here at RCBC.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely. All of our courses, majority of them, have some certification component also, which industry values it. So at the first 2 years of your college, you're getting industry relevant skill set, and that attracts a lot of employers. For instance, even we have a CIS 138, an A+ certification that goes with it. Even though we're not teaching toward certification, you're getting an actual college credit, you're learning the actual technology, and if you choose to, you can go ahead and specialize in that industry credential and have a value in the industry. So that gives us a combined version of this coverage.
It's fantastic. So as we're talking here about RCBC2, and again, earlier, as I said, we're rolling out that multi-factor authentication login system already here for Baron 1, but what are some other basic fundamentals that online users can use to protect themselves from a cyber attack?
My view is online users, just like Allison was saying, there's lots of red flags. If you
Walmart
get a call, yeah. I often get these calls. Hey, you're being investigated for tax fraud or something. That's a red flag right there. Just if there's a call or there's a text or there's a phishing email, those are the three major things. Nobody's gonna reach out to you for anything for those three methods. Just do your due diligence. Make sure don't share your information. Just be on the guard, and just being a savvy online user. When you go to any website, be sure that site is what you're visiting. It's reputable. Especially when you get free this or free that or free game, you're just fooling yourself. You're gonna get trapped into this.
Another red flag.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So should users then, have the same passwords? Maybe this is a question for me, and I'm usually pretty good from computers anyway. But should users have same passwords across different accounts, or how often should they change them?
Change it.
Yeah.
Change it. Please.
And then, okay, so what if you're like me, though? The best advice, because sometimes you don't want to write it down. I feel a little sketchy putting, my wife has all her passwords in her notes, like her Mac notes, and I still feel like Big Brother out there, someone could still hack those notes. But is there programs out there or something if you have 20 different accounts, Netflix, social media, email, banking systems, what do you think is the best practice for that?
There's actually software out there called password managers. There's apps on your phone. I think one's called Dashlane. Basically, it generates these gibberish passwords that are 30 characters long, and it lets you basically just auto input them into whatever login you're using. So you can store your passwords in there so that you don't have to put them on your notes, which isn't super safe, or write them down on a post-it note.
Yep.
And it takes care of that hassle for you because you just have to pretty much hit a button on your phone and it puts the password in. So yeah, if your phone gets hacked, it could still get out there, but that's not how most people are hacking anymore. It's social engineering. They're doing the phishing emails or the calls, like Professor Baig was just talking about, or how Allison got scammed. So if you want to, relieve the hassle of having to remember a bunch of different passwords, there is software out there that you can install.
It's good to know. Always have to change the passwords. Usually, I know when we're changing ours here, I just go the next number up for me. That's just the way I do it. This way, it's all in my head, so they can't hack my brain. Hopefully there. But all right, so we got all the the technical stuff, the personal experiences and everything else. But as something on the show here, I like to kind of wrap it up with some cheesy dad jokes. You talk about the Cyberans and your little puns there, so I have some puns of my own. I'm kind of maybe ended on a little bit of a good note, if we'll say. So first, I want you to tell me, how did the hacker escape the police?
How?
Roy's thinking right there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
How did the hacker escape the police? He ran somewhere.
Oh, man. Oh.
No. Okay. All right. So we're talking about the router itself and all this other stuff. Why did the router go to the therapist? Silence. So why did the router go to the therapist? It was feeling disconnected.
Oh my
Yeah. All right. And one last one here. Why did the hacker bring a ladder to the job interview?
So we could escape?
No. Had to get over the firewall. Oh, that's going to do it for us, folks. There. No. All right. So it is going to, wrap it up here for the episode on the Program Pod. Hope you enjoyed today's show. I do want to thank guests again today, Allison Warren, Roy Kramer, Bill Baig, who all brought us a little bit more insight into RCBC's cybersecurity program, the computing and informatics programs here at RCBC. But before we sign off, anyone want to plug anything or how to get involved with the Cybarons? Any, hi, Mom?
Well, Thursdays at 2 p.m. in Tech 317 is the Cybersecurity Club meeting. So if you're interested in cybersecurity, come out, check out what we're doing.
Right on. Right here at the Mount Laurel campus. Anybody else?
Stay safe and change your passwords to random letters.
Yeah, and mine is plenty of courses in our curriculum to interest all kinds of passions and focus, especially cybersecurity. And then our cybersecurity team, it has 6 members. Some of the competitions are up to 12 members, so it's still open. Come check me out, contact me, and we'll get you into the program.
Sounds good. All right. Well, again, I'm Jay Vargan. If you want to learn more about RCBC's programs like we just talked about, you can visit rcbc.edu. And for other RCBC podcasts we have to offer, including the Baroness podcast highlighting powerful women of Burlington County, you can visit rcbc.edu/podcast. Also, be sure to subscribe to the Program Pod on any platform where you get your podcast. Till next time, thanks for listening. And as like Allison said, change those passwords.